But your prisons are overcrowded. You can't lock them up. You actually need to release them. What do you do? How do you get rid of them? Immigration. You send them to other countries. It's like pouring water from a full bucket into an empty bucket. It's half when it's half, it's half, it's half and half. But how do you do that when other countries have laws and policies and they only want to take on honest, skilled, educated people, visas and passports, and you can't send them because you want to keep them to make your own country better? Well, you spend years planning a series of events organised to look chaotic and rushed and a state of emergency, like organised chaos. You create proxy wars to create refugees. You release prisoners, create crime waves, cause displacement. Now we have asylum, and those who flee are followed by those who have offended. Hidden in their shadow is international protection applicants. You have a country that is up high on the danger level, and a country that is down low, safer, like Ireland. So you send your bad people to the safer country, like tipping the bucket. The safer country gets more dangerous, the dangerous country gets more safer. You meet in the middle, and you now have equality through diversity. You create laws to protect these people. You make them so delicate that even a whisper of doubt or disagreement should be a crime, maybe a hate crime. You promote human mobility and how it's inextricably linked to sustainability, that it is necessary to make this world a whole. It is integral and holistic. The plan from country of origin to transit to destination, different routes, some longer and shorter, so they don't all get there at once. And that way, it's regular and sustainable and not so obvious. Think of money being bounced around from account to account. It's harder to trace. Remember, these are business minds that are planning this, not political. It's politically driven. Well, we were wondering were they coming from England or France. The truth is that most of them were predetermined countries of transit, and for many, they were there for as long as they were supposed to. The destination was here, and the reason was to be one of the 17,000 to get residency, a new identity, and a great reset on their lives. Now, we've seen early release prisoners in England, which has already had disastrous consequences. An 18-year-old who was convicted, along with another teenager in 2022, for the murder of a third teenager with a machete. He was freed along with 1,700 prisoners in a single day, serving less than 2 years of his sentence. Here in Ireland, a man comes back from English prisons and murders his daughter. Crime waves across Africa. And now, Helen McEntee has been given her advice to release prisoners. On top of the list is sex offenders. Now let's look at Sweden for a minute. So in September 2023, it says it will forever be known as Black September because of the amount of murders, 12 and 40 violent episodes in 20 days. Damien Chalou, an investigative crime journalist in Swedish public television, says that one of Swedish most violent gangs, known as Foxtrot, has been brought a wave of violence, often involving teenagers between 15 and 20, but some as young as 13 and Swedish. Now they're being radicalised by their leader, Rawa Majid, and his feud against his former friend Ismail Abdu and his gang Rumba. When Abdu's mother was killed in September 2023, it opened a darker, more violent chapter in Swedish gang wars. The murderers were 15 and 19. He was born in Iraq. Majid was born in Iran to Kurdish parents, moved as a child to Sweden, then to Turkey, and then fled back to Iran in 2023. His ex-friend Abdu was arrested in Turkey but released on bail. Now, there's also been a number of attacks on Israelis by these gangs, and Iran has been accused of helping them to import military-grade weapons and explosives. Um, Minister Ulf Kristersson says that a very large extent of this is linked to poor integration and that this is built on too high immigration. A look into the future of Ireland, maybe. Well, let's look at Irish soil now. Mary Ward murdered in Belfast by Ahmed Abdirahman, an asylum seeker in Kinlay House in Dublin. Lately, two Gardaí were assaulted in the same place. A woman thrown under a bus while being mugged. Lucky to still be here. Two men beheaded because of their sexuality. Children stabbed. Knife attacked the GPO. Two Irish men mysteriously drowned in a canal surrounded by a tent city. Numerous stabbings on homeless, random civilians, knife machetes, numerous sex assaults, indecent exposure, dozens of attempted child abductions, violent incidents at centres, young people being raped on the streets, man murdered at the airport that the media said was a cry for help. And don't forget those children in Dublin as well and their teacher. The alcohol, the drug taking, the prostitution, the gang members like the Black Axe Gang, ISIS, Taliban. And I bet that there's Boko Haram here now as well, and so much more. We're fast on our way to becoming Sweden. These are not the actions of skilled labourers or academic minds. These are the actions of criminals. And I have no doubt that this is an agenda to relieve dangerous and poorer countries of their criminals, send them to safer countries, causing havoc, turning our societies to rubble so that they can build back better.